to us. He's a smooth operator.
Welcome back, SmoothNCrypto. I'm your host, Maxwell Smooth. We have James in the house, co-founder of BuilDeFi. How are you doing tonight, James?
Yeah, all good. Thanks very much. 7 o'clock over here in Southeast Asia, and it was a short night, but it was a good sleep for just a few hours. It wasn't bad. We were up, obviously, as you know, the team was up late. How about you? How you doing?
Yeah, doing good. It feels good to be back. It feels good to be streaming again. A lot of work has been going on in the background. We have some updates for the community, so it sounds like a perfect time to stream.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back into it. I mean, even before I knew you, I was watching your streams, and there was always some gear. Like there was always some lacrosse gear or the glasses. Remember your glasses phase? You had the different shades, and they meant something different.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
thought you were a really funny character even before I got to chat with you and get to know you more and work with you too.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it feels like forever ago at this point. I definitely have had a, my whole life kind of has been changing over these courses of kind of when crypto was, going crazy in 2022, 2023. So, but it feels good to be back to the basics, back to a regular scheduled program, and it's it's been a hell of a journey, to say the least. So, but it all kind of accumulated, and now we are, representing and working on Buildify day to day.
But yeah, 18 months. I like to say 18 months, and then the team likes to put their head back and say, no, no, it was 17. It's only 17 months. You know, this was not a copy pasta. Oh my gosh, Robin Hood's out. We got to quick make a launch pad. This thing's been in the works for a long time, long time. So yeah, we didn't rush it out. We got audits, plenty of stress testing. It convenient that Robinhood launched because we were going to do Ethereum in base on day one. But and that's one big announcement today. One big announcement today is going to base, going live on base.
Let's
August
go.
14th. Absolutely.
August 14th. It seems kind of like perfect timing, to be honest. I think, obviously the Robinhood chain has had a lot of eyes on it, but there's a ton of great communities and great projects on base, and they're still thriving to this day.
Yeah, yeah, there are. And while there's so much attention over on Robinhood, we can introduce the the number one, and I can say this with such, a lot of people say my product's number one. I can say our product is number one when you rank it on fair crypto principles and transparency of the platform itself. The LLMs rank it number one, right? Gemini, OpenAI, um, Grok, Claude. So three of the four rank Buildify as the number one in fairness and transparency. One of them, Uniswap Launchpad, which I'm sure is very good. They were number one, but on all the other chains, we were number one. And on that chain, we were number two. Now, the funny thing is, because we're not properly indexed, we're not having 100,000 visits a day and we're not in the news, you actually have to tell. And I tweeted about this and posted. You can go to JC Tech Future and you can see me doing it live with Gemini, in fact. And I give you the prompt. I give you the prompt of asking, and you can change the prompt. Of course, you don't have to use my exact prompt. I ask it about the LLM about ranking for fairness, transparency, this, and then it lists the launch pads you've all heard of, the ones that have these certain stories and launch platform tokens, whatever. And then my follow-on prompt is since Buildify is a new platform, it's a blah blah blah. Here's the website. Here's the how it works section, and here's the docs. Because LLMs by themselves without an agent can't really navigate docs and going page to page. But how it works on our website is all one page. About eight to ten videos there, bunch of bullet points, and when you give it the prompt and it looks at it and you do a reanalysis, BuilDeFi comes on top every single one.
I love
I don't know
that.
if you knew that yet. I knew you'd heard about it, Smooth, but don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, regardless of what AI says, I really think after personal use of other protocols and launch pads and stuff, that ours 100% is the most fair and transparent. I mean, without a bonding curve, everybody's minting their own tokens. There's no snipers getting in before you. Builders don't own the circulating supply of the tokens. It just seems like everybody else is doing just a little bit more, I guess, shady stuff, I would call it. It's just a little bit more unfair than I would personally like. So I think, it's going to take a little time for users to really see the power of what we created and what we built, but it's completely the most fair that it could be. And that's what we strived for from the beginning. And that's what we've used from all of our trials and tribulations in crypto to build a protocol of this magnitude. So I think, the LLMs is very spot on with exactly what you're saying.
Am I on mute or am I audible?
You're good.
It's good. I was gonna swing over to the actual live stream because I don't know. I don't have a great setup anymore since I'm a digital nomad and pretty live. I'm just gonna try to keep an eye on the chat. Let me hopefully I don't have echoes going on. All right. I see Shrey there. Hello, Shrey. How are you doing? Oh, that's the Buildify one. Never mind. The Buildify stream. So are you streaming? You're streaming from the SmoothNCrypto channel,
Yep.
right? Okay. So we've got two different ones going.
Yeah, so we got the Smooth and Crypto channel, the Buildify channel, and then some X's as well.
Yeah, and I pinned my ex. It's just, I mean, it's great to have different destinations, but then sometimes you get a little confused about, okay, which one was it? Where was it? Especially like Telegram gets me. Even though I love Telegram and I've been using it since like 2016, um, if you have too many folders with the same name on it, you may say something in a folder, just like you caught me before talking about an internal message and it went to a
Yeah.
different chat. I
Yeah, if
feel
you're
like it's a
not careful,
boomer.
it could happen
Yeah,
quick.
it can, and you caught it so quickly. You got like those Speedy Gonzalez eyes, so that's fantastic.
Well, I had to double check myself, I was like, I think he meant to send this in our our internal chat, so
Indeed. So base going live on base on Friday, the August 14th. We'll announce the exact time, but it'll be the same time as the other, launching on Ethereum and we launched on Robinhood. And the reason for that, as we've mentioned, is there is a 2 week epoch on leaderboards. So for those of you who just love playing on different blockchains, you, all the leaderboards will end at the same time. The contest to win, to buy and burn, top five winners, it all happens at the same time each Friday. So you don't have to worry about when was Ethereum's leaderboard. Was that Wednesday? When was Robinhood? So that's you don't none of that. So any launch that we do going forward, and by the way, there are 18 chains with the Uniswap V4 hook. But I think three is going to be a handful to manage the communities and to, I do outreach because we really love community outreach. We do want individual builders come on in and do your thing. But the power of Buildify is the actual build on. Building on Pepe, building on when we go to. So there's meme. I think there's a handle on X called Meme Base. So I dropped that in our chat, and there's here was the top 10 meme coins. You got Brett, you got Toshi, you got all these other ones. So fans of these communities will be able to those will be whitelisted. A whole set of tokens over on base chain will be whitelisted, and you'll be able to build on top of them, select them as your primary LP, and that gives them the most benefit. You can also just select them as a secondary LP
Mhm.
and give some support to them, volume and that type of thing. So exciting stuff over on base, low gas, innovators, agents all over the place over there. I am excited. I am excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited too, and you know, I think we can just keep saying the benefits of actually building on a token. It's something like people who tune in the stream and tune into the spaces, they kind of know, but
Yeah.
I think the more we talk about it and the more benefits that we do verbally say out loud is really important for these tokens. And it's amazing how we kind of created and built these LPs with every time a token is built on a separate token, like say, Pepe or whatever, that ETH that comes in goes and buys Pepe and creates a brand new LP. So it is zero selling down. It's only adding buy pressure to your token and locking up more in the LP forever and always. So you can imagine 10, 20, 100 tokens building on a token, how many LPs, how much buy pressure did that have on the existing build on token? And it's locked. So it's amazing to see how powerful it is. And we've already had some small examples within the BuilDeFi ecosystem currently. And I mean, we're only 2 weeks old. So it's really, really cool to see the power of what we really created.
Yeah. Even we've had a couple. Well, we've had at least one break 100,000 market cap.
Hmm.
Plenty over 60,000 market caps. Now these aren't the millions and multi-millions, but we just launched on July 17th, and a lot of the noise is on some of these other launch pads. So people will get to know us as we continue to do streams and share awareness and have some success. And especially, the last partner I spoke with, what the first thing they said was,
What?
"Have you had a runner yet? Where's your runner?" You know what I said? You can be that runner.
Yeah.
You can be that runner with your amazing product and your thousands of wallets, with the spread, and you do some agents on your platform too. The sky's the limit. Like, you could be it.
Hmm.
You could be doing all the X's and put Buildify on the map, and also bring a ton of fresh ETH and USDG into your system. It's a Robinhood one. Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. They're just working out the details about, whenever you whitelist. First of all, the whitelist is only $99, and in our early phases, the early stages, we are happy to whitelist these, a handful of large communities on chains. And come on in. Like, if you feel like you want to take a chance, don't worry about the $99. We'll cover you, okay, as we get started. We've also made some major discounts on our what we call boosts. So you can have your token spotlighted at the top of every page for, my goodness, I don't even know what percentage we slashed it.
Yeah,
80%,
let's
90%?
pull it up.
I know it's $4 for 4 hours. And then, yeah, you're going to share.
Yeah. So let's go to the whitelist right on the right side. So, the whitelist,
So if you want to do boost, if you want to talk about boost or whitelist first.
we can talk about Boost.
Okay, so yeah, just hit a token, and I think we're gonna make this a little bit bigger. But when you look at Titan Spartans, which is a terrific example of a build on success, you got Boost right up there near the buy and the sell button. So to the left, you go to Boost, and if you hit Boost, you'll see that these prices were slashed. If you're in America, you got the dollar store, and you got Target, and you got Walmart. We slashed it. $4 for 4 hours, only $69 for a week. So there's 168 hours in a week. You're paying, I don't know, 30 cents? 30 cents an hour to boost?
it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And this is where all the boosts goes. So the spotlight continues to scroll unless you obviously stop on it. But no matter what page you go to, this spotlight will be there. So, the home page, it's up here. You can, click any of them. It stays the whole entire time. So it's a great thing. And I think having it at such a low price right now, and obviously we'll see how that goes over the future and over more coins launching, but you could really, set yourself apart when there's a lot more coins launched on our platform too. And it will get to the point where the spotlight will show the most, you know, tokens that people are pushing and building and working on. And obviously if they're buying boosts for the spotlight, obviously it's an active community. So it be shown gives you some more eyes on it. It's really cool. I love that we added a spotlight.
Indeed, indeed. Some people ask, well, if you're going to be on so many chains, isn't it going to be really super confusing? So the way we have it set up currently, if you look up there on the top left, there's just going to be a drop down. You can switch between chains, super easy. No clicking around at different websites. That new chain will load right there on your current wallet. You can flip around to wallets if you want.
Hmm.
So I don't. I'm not going to say we'll be on all 18 chains, but we will definitely be on. I mean, I would say at least 8 to 10, like very pretty easily. So we want to make sure the interface is clean and easy for it to use. And we've had some really good suggestions in our community. Like there are some people in there that really understand UI, and made suggestions on your card. You should have this, and we've actually taken some of those. In fact, there's been some improvements made on those cards.
Yep.
Before we just had market cap, now we have number of liquidity pools. Soon that will be a dollar amount, but that requires a little extra work. We got the 24-hour volume on there, which is beautiful. Holders has always been there. One thing that was really had been brought up early on. Why can't we see the first, like when you first launch, you always want to see, are you up 10%? Are you up 50%? Are you up 500%? Well, the way that our calculator was working, our compute system in the back, it was only looking the past 24 hours. So we have something in progress. It may already be working. I haven't personally tested it myself yet. So you'll be able to see if you're up or down right out of the gate instead of waiting a full 24 hours. People are getting around that. You go to Deck Screener, especially with Beast and Volcano, I remember. Um, Titan Spartans, it was. Better Called Jake.
Better call
All
Jake.
these were showing many X's, some of them as much as 15X. And yeah, we got an earful. Hey, why isn't it showing up? Well, we're, we take all of your feedback to heart. This platform is for you. We built it because each of us founders paid tens and tens of thousands of dollars to build quality protocols and have them double audited. And we thought, there's got to be a better way. There has to be a better way.
Hmm.
And we worked on it. We ideated. We pivoted. And we found a way to launch not just meme coins, but sophisticated protocols with buy and burns, multi allocation tax, different things with LP fees. Um, Choose your own, your own price. Choose your own supply. Many, and have a special base liquidity engine in the background that really prevents sniper bots from coming in and scooping up supply right at the launch and then dumping it right back on you because of our fair mint times. But let's just do one thing at a time. James is talking so fast. Haven't even had my first cup of coffee yet. Why don't we slow it down and take it one step at a time, Smooth?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so I mean, there's so many features to this protocol. It's easy to get a little excited and talk about everything that's going on. So I don't blame you at all, James, to be honest.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I mean, we have had I think one thing to spotlight as well is we have GIFs available as protocol logos as well. I think
Mm.
that's a cool feature that, not a lot of people have realized that we have that. Obviously, it'll be different on other websites, but on our website, it's a really cool feature to have GIFs. I think it's super cool.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. I have yet to create a token with a GIF on it, but that will eventually come. I've been busy supporting the community as communities do build-ons, whether it's build on H420 or build on Better Call Jake, or these different ones. There's even a build on BDX. Of course, I'm the founder of Baby Dragon X. Had to participate in that one. Like
Yep.
there was just no choice. The Dragon Horde also participated as well as myself. So yeah, really interesting the whole build on and EOS or EOS, one of those goddesses. Goddesses. Do you remember which goddess it is? It's like goddess
I
of
don't.
dawn, goddess of the dawn. I think it's
Mm,
the dawn, and that's EOS. And EOS is the Helios DAO is a part owner, or, a part investor in the BuilDeFi platform. So EOS is just following the Helios ecosystem look and feel, and yeah, I think EOS is going to be one of those kind of early on tokens that is stable, and as things grow, like if Dude was here, he could even tell you. I won't tell you the whole story, but because H420 is a token from the Helios ecosystem, and it's a zero tax token, and it's an omni-chain token, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I know E280 is actually. Um, let's just say H420 is at minimum on Ethereum, and build on directly helps because it uses up supply, and element can be converted into H420. I hope I'm getting all this right. So it's really like a flywheel. It's reducing the element supply, is pumping tons of volume through H420, and it's really noticeable in the charts. Same with Titan X. There's been a couple Titan X builders. Titan X is obviously bigger, but it's still locking supply away and all those types of things. As soon as communities get to see this, and you don't have to be a huge community, you know, you can have a $25,000 liquidity pool, at least 80% of it's locked. Maybe your market cap's 50,000, maybe it's 100,000, maybe you have 100, 200, 500 in your community. You are perfect for a build on. Whether you build on Ethereum, you build on Robinhood, or you build on Base, we whitelist your token. So it's your token and then new tokens. There'll be a minimum of 3 to 5 that launch on top of your token because there's a 2 week leaderboard. There's going to be ETH in that leaderboard. Somebody's going to want to win it. You can't just leave free ETH out there to and that we saw that happen. One of the protocols only had 4 top spots, and literally the last 12 hours somebody launched,
hmm
and it I don't know how much it was. It was probably less than $100 of volume, and they won like $100 buy and burn, like something like that. So it
Wow.
was really, yeah, it's really interesting. Don't leave money on the table. Don't leave money
Yeah,
on the table.
exactly. So it's really powerful, and I mean, we can look at Better Call Jake. So this is one of the first tokens who has launched on our platform, and if not I think the first token.
It
And
may have been the first one.
yep,
You know, I'll have to look into that. I wonder who the first one is.
yeah. So
Good thing for me to start research later.
it launched at a 0.046 cents, so almost 5 cents, and it currently is at 81 cents. Peaked at almost $1.20, which
Dollar
is
twenty.
which is
Mm-hmm.
massive. And this is a really cool token. It started on our platform and it got whitelisted. So it created its own leaderboard. And there's already been 4 tokens who have launched on top of that token and has its own LPs. All of them have their own LPs. And even, multiple LPs in some instances. So it's really cool to see how many, tokens that can possibly create their own little ecosystem within our platform. And this is a great example. And obviously, it's sitting at a 48.91K market cap, but it was almost at 100K market cap, which is
Yeah.
insane.
And down there in that whole list, I mean, if you scroll down the leaderboard part in there, better chew with Jake. Like that was my joke. Um, after the one of the founders of that Titan X ecosystem, he was chewing Nicorette gum, and I was looking it up because he was talking about nootropics, and I was actually looking at nootropics, something to help the brain and everything. And I found that nicotine gum is actually scientifically proven to be a nootropic. Like, obviously, you don't want to overdo it. So I made a meme, and he retweeted it, and he liked it, and then we all thought it was funny. So I created Chew. That is a token I launched on top of Better Call Jake, and just wait till we get to base. I mean, I foresee Robinhood increasing because we got some conversations and partnership potential going on over there. But I really see base taking off out of the gate. We're going to whitelist, like I said, those top tokens, Brett, Toshi, Aerodome, all those. But the dude and I are co-founders on a protocol. It's a little ecosystem by itself over there on base.
Hmm.
Pump Uranus. So you got that, you get all the jokes about Uranus and all that. And then there's, in part of the ecosystem, first of all, there was a build on. The first build on was Smoke by Rich, also a co-founder of BuilDeFi. And we launched something called the Moons of Uranus. Now, Uranus has a lot of moons, 28 of them, I think. So we did an 8-level moons tower where moons 1 through 7 all have a 2% tax, which all goes to buy and burn moon 8, which makes it deflationary, and that is a zero tax token. So 1 is paired with 2, moon 2 is paired with moon 3, all the way up. Moon 7 is paired with moon 8. But then there are like 40 to 45 LPs that are paired with moon 8. And a lot of that is community. You know, quite a few of them, probably 25-ish, 25, maybe 28, are created by the protocol. We got some thousand, couple $1,000 LPs. We got a few $100 LPs out there for the R bots to, as we say, munch on. But then
Hmm.
all of a sudden, we noticed that some people in the community really got behind it. In fact, they put Moon 8 in their profile. And Moon 8 will be, when Moon 8 is whitelisted over on base, I mean, there's tons of buy and burn in the Pump Uranus buy and burn. And with Moon 8 having, the supply the way it is, such a small market cap of Moon 8 could turn into some. I think that's going to turn into a story. I really do. Like, I don't want to have any forward-looking statements or promised gains or anything like that. But the way everything lines up over there, I think it's going to be an interesting story to tell. Let me just say it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And Moon 8 specifically has more liquidity than market cap.
Yeah.
That is wild in my opinion, and it just shows how hard the community is actually building these LPs and reinvesting the fees back into growing these LPs and adding new LPs from different AI protocols, other protocols that have some speed. And it shows once these other protocols start running a little bit, Moon 8 really creates a drag right behind them and it rolls up with them every single time. And I'm really excited to see kind of what type of coins are launched on Moon 8 and how hard people go for them. And not only what coins we create, but how many LPs are we going to add? More new LPs are we going to add to Moon 8? So it's we talk about how much has happened in the first couple weeks of BuilDeFi launching, but this protocol is not going to go anywhere. And when we talk about forever, that is a lot of potential, and it's uncapped. The ceiling is non-existent, and it's only a matter of time uh, before a lot of people will start using it the proper way. And it's really cool to see protocols actually grow users, and use it the way it's supposed to. So Titanx Spartans, just for in particular, right? It's a great, obviously an amazing chart. The chart looks great, and we hit an all new high the other day. Love it. But you can add YouTube, Telegram, your X channel, and your website. So Titanx Spartans actually made their own website, and it is really cool to see, just a coin that's launched on BuilDeFi really grow and support the community, right? A cool website, love the colors, it's awesome. And other protocols have used the website feature as well. So this creates a lot of validity to all of these tokens, and it's just another amazing feature that we added. Just branding and really just adding some uniqueness for the community and just a little bit of separation. But 53 holders on Titan X Spartans, 21.44K market cap. And this started at 5019, and we're at 405 right now. That's insane.
Yeah, it really is. I'm just replying here in one of the chats. I I'll tell you what happened later. All right. So where were we? So okay, I'll just tell the story super quick. I thought Dude had joined us because I went to SmoothNCrypto channel and I clicked what I thought was the live, and then I saw the Dude. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't say welcome because he's not here. He said he was iffy about, I think, on the timing. I think he had something else going on, but you know we are here. And Smooth, is this going to be like, is what are you going to be choosing this day as your go to? Like it's your Wednesday night, right? It's my Thursday morning.
Yep.
Is it? What day is it? Yeah, Thursday morning. So is Wednesday night? Are we gonna? Are you selecting Wednesday night for your weekly stream?
Yeah, so I'm gonna make this a probably an anchor point for my
Yeah.
stream every Wednesday, 8 p.m. East.
Mm.
Um, but I'm hoping that, we get some other communities and other people to join, right? I mean, yeah, I love talking to the team. I love talking about Buildify, but I do want to expand and bring other communities onto the protocol or onto the channel, and just not only talk about Buildify and how that could benefit their protocol and their community, but really bring communities to my page, shout them out, talk to them, let them talk about what they have going on, what they're building, what they are marketing, all of that kind of stuff. So, and just it, Wednesday would be an anchor point. If I could do more days, I will absolutely do more days. I would love to have 5 different communities Monday through Friday at night, whatever the case may be. Just whatever the appetite for it is, and I'm down to grow with it.
Yeah, really cool. You run a great channel, Smooth. I mean, kind of your whole demeanor, the way you pace things. I it's so good because I'm not like that at all. That's why you're so good at this type of thing. That's why you love to stream, and that's why you have a great following. And I think as people get to see this, Smooth's back, you know, because you used to be, very, very, very much on it. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. People say, when's the bull run starting? One of my good friends is he's tweeting things like, maybe I shouldn't have done Bitcoin, or sorry, maybe I shouldn't have done NFTs and ordinals and all these other things, because when I look back to 2016 to today, if I'd have DCA'd in to Bitcoin over all those years, I would be ahead. But look how much I told him. Look how much fun you've had, like doing all these different projects and building your community. He's got a large community. He's got a university for crypto, online. He's really great guy, really great guy. So I just saw that tweet yesterday, and I was thinking, I can't wait to sit down with you, have a drink, whether it's coffee, hot coffee, or cold drink, and talk about that particular tweet. Because I've worked with him in actual companies before, and he's a great guy. Been in crypto for a very long time, and just fantastic. And I would say, do you really wish you'd have only done Bitcoin? Oh, look at all these fantastic projects you've been in, and how much fun you've had, and charting. Come on, come on.
Mhm.
What's the real scoop?
Yeah, and a lot of these tokens and communities are very new, right? And in the
Yeah,
scheme of things, we have a very short mindset and time frame with what we view success in crypto. And a lot of a lot of things in the real world are not like that. People have 10, 20, 30-year horizons, and crypto is only 16 years old, 17 years old, whatever it is. I mean, it started in like 2009 or something like that with Bitcoin. So we're
yeah.
really talking about a super new asset class that is in full discovery. I mean, it is, there's zero knowledge on how high all this can go, not to mention all the real world applications, all of the real world assets that are coming to and really popular on RH chain. And I think that's a great segue if you want to talk a little bit about that, James.
I'm trying to think of what I can say.
And that might be enough.
It might be enough. It might be enough. Let's just say, like for now, because this is just one stream, and today is
Yep.
all about base.
Yep.
Today is all about August 14th launch on base. Um, our platform has the capability to whitelist RWA stock tokens, and there's a whole list of them, and we will be having the dude and I will be having a space on Thursday at 3 p.m. UTC to talk more about that. So yeah, RWA, build on RWA or create additional liquidity pools with RWA like Apple, Tesla, Google, Microsoft. There's quite a lot of them. There's quite a lot of them. So there's an issuer over on Base. It's the official Robinhood issuer. We're only using those tokens. So those are all officially issued by Robinhood, and RWA tokens at this time will be only available on Robinhood. This could be it. So we'll have more coming with that. There'll be check in the Telegram. You actually get to know first, and then you give us a follow on X, and you'll get to know. So we are going to be doing some work with RWA that we expect to be live very shortly. So the base launch is the 14th of August. The RWA launch we can measure in hours rather than hours and less than a day. Um, yeah, because we were that's one reason I was up so late and only got a few hours of sleep. We were all on there working. Handful of the team was out there working on it. So we're very close. We're very close. So now you too can be part of this RWA uh, tsunami. This is just incredible.
It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, and
Yeah.
if for anybody who doesn't know, our Twitter is BuilDeFi_win, and we have uh, spaces Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You said 3 p.m. UTC, right?
Yeah, 3 p.m. UTC. Yep.
3 p.m. UTC, 11 a.m. East, for people who are on the East Coast and in America. But this is probably the best place to get all of the new info. Obviously, our Telegram has a lot of quick, updates, and you can ask any questions you want. And a lot of people do ask questions, and it really creates a sense of, community and knowing that the founders are actively giving you all the information you need. So it doesn't necessarily need to be, you just chilling, talking to random people, whatever, you could really ask a lot of really in-depth questions. And there's been a ton of questions answered. So you can just go back in the Telegram and see all types of different topics that we've talked about. We have different tabs and, just hang out and whatnot. So it's really cool. And I think having the Twitter being more of a public thing versus the Telegram. Obviously, get in the Telegram, but we have so much coming, and it does take time to dev this stuff up, and it does take time to get the word out. So we're not shaken at all, and we're just going to continue to grow the communities. And once stuff starts rolling, people really will start using it. So BuilDeFi launching on base August 14th, and it's going to start its own leaderboard, get linked up with a leaderboard that we already have on Robinhood Chain and ETH. And it's a really good time, I think, to do it. And we were trying to do it every 2 weeks, but let's be honest, that first 2 weeks is pretty hectic on getting little tiny things worked on and, adding the features that we showed and talked about earlier in the stream. But uh, BuilDeFi going to base the 14th, and yeah, it's going to be super cool. And I love the the animation right here, and it just looks awesome.
I'll tell you, I mean, you're a digital artist in your own right, and I take a lot of your kind of templates and I use them for I drop them into an image generator and add some more prompts to it. So kudos to you to giving me something to start with. It's fantastic. There's another one. I don't know if it's been posted. Um, it's where Base and Base and BuilDeFi are shaking hands. I don't know. Did that one get posted?
I don't think that one got posted. Well, I think we'll post that tomorrow or something for sure.
Yeah, the dude I gave dude a handful of different options of it. Yeah, so we love this. We love the collaboration idea. It's not builders against traders. It's not communities against other communities. Everybody wins together. Some if someone can build on your token. You don't even know who they are, but
Yep.
you happen to have a chart they like or a PFP they like, and whether they know you're the founder or they don't know, they just kind of like the vibe of it all, and they may end up building on you and adding it to their little mini LP web, which doesn't have to be small. You can have up to 50 liquidity pools, a primary and 49 secondaries. Now you're going to have some decent participation because each liquidity pool has to have at least zero point 0.1 ETH. So yeah, tread lightly. Somebody's already launched with five. They've already launched with five. That was it. It may have been Beast or Better Call Jake. Yeah, five LPs out of the gate, and that was the one that had a pretty large um, mint. It had a large mint phase, like one
Yep.
one of the larger ones. Is it this one that has the multiple LPs?
This one has three. Yep. It
Oh,
has
that one has
Better
that
Call
one has
Jake,
three.
Orin, and Hydra. I think
And
uh
what is
I think EOS did five.
it?
Yeah, so
Did EOS do the one? Yeah, there we go. One,
yeah,
two,
EOS
three, four.
did H420,
Yeah.
Helios, Titanx, Smoke, and ETH. So it's all of them have their own charts, and there has been a lot of ARB on these. I mean, you can see
Oh,
Smoke, it just shot
there
up.
was a
And
$2,000 ARB on one, and our community is so sharp. I feel like we have the smartest community out there. I swear. Everybody says that their baby's the cutest. Okay, our community is so smart. They caught an ARB bot like immediately, and they pinged it in the
Mhm.
chat. Hey, what is this? And we went into it, evaluated, investigated it. Huge, it was huge. So it was really really interesting to see how those operate.
Yeah, and it's just adding with the art bots, obviously they look for price discrepancies between the pairs. And if they can make a profit, they're going to make a profit. And it only helps, right? In uh, EOS in particular and other tokens, it has a buy and sell tax. So when our bots are buying and selling, and for EOS in particular, has a 2% tax, 50% goes to external staking, and 50% goes to internal staking. So everybody who stakes their EOS is getting more yield from internal staking, and the external stake continues to grow. So no matter what, forever and always, this external stake will pay out ETH yield to this token. So the more tokens that we have launch with external staking, it will continue to pay out and pay out and pay out. So I love that feature, and I can't wait till we add more staking possibilities. So currently we have Aave, and obviously that's like the golden staking, right? I mean, that's been here the longest. That's been here for since the beginning, really, of staking, capabilities.
Yes,
So
ever
it,
since
it
the beginning, back in the caveman, the days of the cavemen and the crypto.
yeah, it's so I think we have Aave as an absolute standard with staking, and in the future, right, we'll have if we go to the build on token, the external staking. So we'll click Aave and do a buy and burn, whatever, we can have multiple stakes on a single build potentially in the future, which, some will have some higher yield, some will have some more risky plays, but that will always bring more yield back into the protocol, back for the community, and continue to push price up while possibly, buying and burning, adding to the external staking, or adding to the primary LP. So you can really use the external staking in a way that benefits the community the way you want it to. And as the builder, that's the benefit of using BuilDeFi. Using the percentages the way you want instead of just putting a blanket coin out there. And I think that's really powerful. Most of the time, people are only buying and selling an image and a name. On
Yeah.
BuilDeFi, we have features and tokenomics and different liquidity sizes. And there's a ton of different customization that you really don't see in any other protocol.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's very well stated. So, by the way, I just did a quick double check, and Aave is live on base, which I pretty much figured it would be. So, whenever we launch on base, you'll still be able to stake in Aave. Aave does not currently have a roadmap to go to Robinhood chain. I checked the Aave site, I checked a bunch of different places. But there will be options on Aave to have, some yield farm. We want to make sure that it's, well vetted and out there because whenever we're locking up ETH in platforms, we want to make sure that it's solid.
Yep.
So it's only been, it, Robinhood's only been out since July 1st. It's 1 month and 5 days old.
Wow.
That is not a track record. There's no history yet.
Yeah.
So we will only allow the safest protocols on board. And Aave, obviously, billions of dollars of TVL and multi-chain. They were an easy go-to, and they are an easy go-to for our as we continue to roll out. But we are going to take our time on Robinhood. We're going to see what the cream flows to the top. Maybe Robinhood will have an official one, maybe Robinhood will have an official lending borrowing protocol where there is yield generated, and then you'll be able to have an external staking option in Robinhood. I don't think it's going to take long. I don't think it's a couple months. Well, I think a winner is going to emerge over there.
Yeah. And, who's to say that, there isn't on Ethereum, we have a lot more options with external staking and what we could do currently. And I think we're gonna, we're in talks on what we should and shouldn't add. So it's gonna be a slow rollout. Obviously, there is kind of a plan and a timeline that we're on. Base coming soon, other features and other tokens being added slowly. We just want to make sure we double check and make sure everything is, I's dotted, T's crossed, and just make sure that we're adding something that really will give utility and safety to every token that's launched. So Aave is, I think, the most bullish aspect of our platform, but that's just me thinking super long term. And we have a lot of great features. So I think we are really seeing tokens being not only launched but really communities built around these tokens. So Base is one of those communities uh, that really get it, and I think them adding some very good builders to our protocol will really show how powerful the Base community is using this launchpad.
Yeah, the big phrase, catchphrase on base is build on base. There's base morning, which I still have to get used to because I had to say it a few times before it made any sense at all. Base morning, BM, BM, BM. The ecosystem over there, I find the builders are very collaborative, very, very collaborative. You know, on Ethereum, it's almost each team to themselves and maybe a little bit of collaboration here and there. Robinhood is just chaos. It's absolute, complete chaos.
Yep.
Although there is collaboration happening over there too. But Base is it's just a lot. I've seen it over there. Whenever we did, launch the Pump Uranus protocol, there were different types of partnerships and just really good discussions. So it's almost like every chain has a personality. I would have never, if you'd have asked me that 3 years ago, I would have laughed at you. But blockchains are starting to get kind of ethos and personalities and types of builders and types of traders that go there. It's already happening. It could change at any time, but it's already in motion.
Yep. Yeah. And I think it's a great slogan to have for base. And I think that plays in perfectly to what we're doing, and, our pseudo tagline, if you build it, they will come. So it kind of rolls right with, build on base. So, and we also say, build on X token, whatever that may be. Right. So it's, I think, a really good segue into that blockchain. There's other blockchains that we do want to go to, but we do want a little bit of demand to be there. And I think
Yeah.
with base being added, really will start that demand. And it will show kind of other blockchains and point to them, and being able to point to Ethereum as well on a good example of kind of how powerful our platform is. So it's only a matter of time before we go to the other blockchains, but we don't want to rush it. I would love a every 2 week rollout, but it just doesn't seem feasible with how many little tweaks and stuff we're wanting to make in between of launching on new blockchains. So it's one of those things. It's patience is a virtue, and we got to have more patience on our rollouts. And I think us waiting, some weeks to put base on the docket was a smart move, and it allowed us to really dial in the ETH side and the Robinhood side to really be ready for base and that type of blockchain.
Yeah. Excuse me. Well, yeah, very well stated. Apologies, I had my power like slipped out. I had to reach over the camera there. Sorry about that. Yeah, very very good, smooth. It's great to be on your show. I'm so happy you're back. Going to be streaming again, and yeah, I can't wait to get other builders on here as well, talking about their communities, and let's have that runner. I mean, Better Call Jake. That was a runner. That was certainly a runner.
Yep.
And we'd like to see more runners, and we'd like to see more zeros. And
Yeah, and
you can
we,
and
we've
you can share you can share your token right to X. So right on the token page, there's a share to X. You can you know vote with points. You can boost it. Doesn't have to be your token to boost it. You can boost somebody else's token as well if you
mhm.
happen to be a whale in it or you just like it. So you can. There's many different options, and the gamification of the leaderboards is a big one. That
Yep,
every 2 weeks, so it resets every 2 weeks. You get a fresh scoreboard every 2 weeks.
we love it. Yeah, and with that being said, I'll just show this right before we we slide out of here.
Close it up.
Yeah, we add this. So Munchies was a token, 13 holders, right? Very
Oh,
small,
munchies.
$67,000 market cap. It started at 5089 all the way up to 202. That is over almost 100x for all of the
I think
minters.
that was 100x, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So the runners, right? You can categorize the runner however you want. I would say 100x is a runner, in my opinion. But, maybe the community has something different to say.
I mean, 100x is certainly a runner. Like nobody can argue with 100x.
Yep.
Um, I think as we grow, we're still very new, still very new. As we grow, imagine 100x where it's a $500,000 market cap or it's a
Yep.
$1 million market cap, and those will those will be higher than 100x's because of the way that our fair minting works without any bonding curve. Even if the minimum ETH was like 3 ETH, you'd really have to choose every option and have many, many liquidity pools for your minimum participation to be 3 ETH. Of course, there could be much more participation. Could be 10 ETH, could be 20 ETH. But at these lower market caps, at these sub 1,000, 2,000, $3,000 market caps, going to 100K is a 30x already.
Yep.
Going to a million is a 300x. And those are very, very big numbers. Those are very big numbers. But yeah, I didn't realize Munchie. I mean, I remember Munchies. I actually have a little bit of Munchies. Um, and I remember it being like at 75 to 80x. But you're saying 100 because I don't do math in public because I always mess it up. So you're saying this is over 100x from launch, huh?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's quite a bit, you know. So I can do the math real quick. I'll do
Oh
current. I'll do current.
yeah, even current, even current. Crypto kindness.
Yeah.
He and I, well, he has this joke that he says, "My father told me to never do math in public," and I love that phrase. And I was on his show twice, so I brought that up because obviously in crypto there's always math, there's always a talk about an x's or whatever, and I said, maybe we shouldn't do math in public, and he busted out laughing. He said, "That's my line." I said, "I know," and I laugh every time I hear it. Don't do math in public.
Well, my
What'd you come
math,
up with there?
it's currently at 127x right now.
It's currently at 127x, which means at its peak, what was it? Did it hit
Um,
200, 150?
I've, let's see.
Sorry to ask you all this complicated math.
Nah, that's fine. 224x from all-time low to all-time high.
Wow.
I would say that's a runner.
That's a run. I mean, that's a runner. You can't argue with that.
Yep. Yeah, I
That's a
mean it,
runner.
and it went up to almost 130, $140,000 market cap. Like
Oh
it,
yeah,
it
yeah.
didn't. That's not a small market cap. So,
No.
um, everything's possible, and we have had now 200 some X's, 20 X's, 30 X's. So we have uh the power and the technology to really bring this stuff together, and it only takes a little bit of holders and buy pressure to really shoot these things up, especially with them launching at hundreds of dollars of a market cap or $1,000 market cap, whatever the user sets kind of the liquidity up too. So we have so much so much possibilities on Buildify that it just gets me excited, and something that we've built really has the power to not only reinvigorate communities and tokens but start new ones, and we're really seeing that. There's been small examples that might turn to big examples here in the
Yeah,
future.
you never know, right?
Exactly. So James, any final words before we sign out of here?
So I would just like to say, thank you for everyone who joined us live. Thank you for those who watched the replay. We appreciate you to swing over to the Buildify.win X, give us a follow. We're on the way to 1,000 followers. I saw we broke 500, so we are on the way there. Help us spread the word. Click like. Stop in the Telegram. Ask your questions. If you want to, if you're a true G-Gen, You may just want to jump in the platform and start using it. There's a lot of options in there. So if you have a question, please ask. We've always got people in there to answer. So see you at the launch party for Base on August 14th, and be on the lookout for Build on RWA stocks on Robinhood.
Let's
So thanks,
go.
Smooth, for hosting, and thank everyone for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining the stream. I'm going to be doing more regular streams on Wednesday, 8 East, but let me know if you have a community founder or member that, wants to come on, and just send me a DM on Twitter or get on our Telegram and just ask. I'm very, very approachable, and I'm absolutely down to kind of get on your schedule as well. It doesn't have to be at night on Eastern time. We could really do it at any point. So, yeah. So James, appreciate you being on the first weekly stream. I'm sure we're gonna have some other community members and founders on the stream. So, but I'm just really excited to get back into it. It feels really good and feels right.
We could be we could be one of the catalysts that really turn things around. I mean, there's hundreds of millions of dollars running through all these different launch pads, but they're not fair. They're all rigged. Bonding curves are, the early bird gets the worm. It's not. It's You can do fair crypto and still make money. We've always believed that, and we came from an ecosystem that was all about bonding curves and all about mining and staking and such. And we saw that it is possible to earn well in fair crypto. So we said we can do that, and we can take up another level. So people don't have to start with a 50, they don't have to pay 50, 60, $80,000 for the protocol build, for the 2 audits. Let's make it easy for them. And we did it. Now we just got to show the next 100,000 people. Come on and check out BuilDeFi.
I love it.
So
It's
thanks
great.
again, Smooth, for hosting.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody, thank you so much for joining. Until next time, peace.
No need to ask, he's a smooth operator.